Hey, good morning, folks. It's Tuesday. This is the second time we had to record this video. I tried to do it out in the deck this morning, but there was too much outside noise that caused some problems with the audio. So we're redoing this back in the house. Today's video is about the award voting for the Babe Ruth Conference and the Cy Young Conference. But before I get into that, I want to talk about Bill Buckner. As you know, he passed away yesterday at a young age of 69. And in our league, he was drafted in 1971 by the Cheddar City Cheesehounds. And he stayed with that team until 1976 when he got picked up by the River Cats, California. And he stayed with that team until 1989, which is a long time. Now he had a better batting average in our league than he did in real life. I think in real life they're quoting him at a 289, but he hit 310 with us. And although he's not ranked anywhere on our top 25, he is ranked one place, and that was as a pinch hitter. He had 83 pinch hits, which puts him 23rd in the Hall of Fame league. And I'm sure he'll be missed in the Boston area. But getting back to our awards, I'm going to start off with the Babe Ruth Conference. I usually do this by narrative. I'll type up a text. Normally it takes me about 2 weeks to do. I still have the end of season stats recap to do. But I'm going to try this method, see if it saves me some time and makes it a little more enjoyable for you guys. But the MVP, now you saw my record-breaking email about how many records dropped, which is quite a lot for one season. Of course, Bonds did a lot of the damage. But for that reason, he's the MVP award winner for the Babe Ruth Conference. He had 391 points. And St. Paul's Randy Johnson was right behind him with 379. Now, Randy didn't get the MVP award, but he did pick up a Cy Young with 157 points. And CC Sabathia from LA was behind him, a distant second with 76 points. But that's early. He'll be up there, I'm sure, soon. The All-Star selections for the Babe Ruth Conference was at catcher Mike Piazza from Tacoma Spartans. First base was Todd Helton from the Contursi Saints. Second base, Brett Boone from Florida. Third base, Aramis Ramirez from Huntsville, now the Pinellas Pirates. A shortstop, Alex Rodriguez from Sunnydale. And the left fielder, obviously, was Bonds. Center field, Vladimir Guerrero. And right field was Sammy Sosa. It's funny, Bonds and Guerrero both with the Saints. And Sammy Sosa, who was on a tear the first two blocks, maybe the first three blocks, until he tailed off. He was leading a lot of categories for Florida. The top five pitchers for the Babe Ruth Conference was led by Randy Johnson, Mario Rivera from Los Angeles, CC again from LA. I think it's Kevin Falk or Ken Falk. I don't remember. I'll look it up. St. Paul Express. And pulling up the rear was Kevin Appier from Sunnydale. The Gold Glove Award winners at pitching, Greg Maddux. I've watched him pitch a couple times with the Braves on TV. Great fielder. He got that with Sacramento. And New England's Brad Ausmus catching. You don't hear much about him, but as a defensive catcher, he was pretty good. First base is Todd Helton with the Saints. Florida's Brett Boone comes back at second base. Scott Rowland, I saw him. We went up to Fenway to watch him play. It was the first season, I think, that they had interleague play. And I took the train from Philly to Boston and took the T-line over to Fenway to watch him play. And fortunately, the Phillies won that game. I was wearing my Philly shirt. I got booed as I was leaving. Shortstop Cabrera for the LA. And the top three outfielders, now I have to look this up again, but St. Paul's Steve Finley, I think he's got like 7 gold gloves in a row out there in the outfield. Followed by New England's Jeff Edmonds, and then Carlos Beltran for LA. LA's got some good defense, some good pitching. There'll be a team to watch. Mario Rivera got the Fireman Award with 121 points. And the manager of the year was St. Paul's Bill of St. Paul Express. He had 110 wins for his team. So that wraps that up for the Babe Ruth Conference. We'll then move on to the Cy Young Conference. A name that I haven't seen in a while in any of our reports, but I'm glad he finally made it. The MVP for the Motor City was Luis Gonzalez, left-handed first baseman, really good guy. I think he played first base that year. And the Cy Young, one of my favorite pitchers, Mike the Moose Messina for River City. He had 116 points. Both of those leaders were chased by Roberto Alomar for the MVP within 18 points for Hawaii. And Jeff Shaw's Hawaii had 95 points, another 20 points behind. I don't know how the votings pair out. I guess 20 points difference is kind of close. For the All-Star selections, at catcher, California's Posada came out number 1. Ryan Klesko from River City was at first base. A mainstay at second base was Roberto Alomar for Hawaii. Third base, I think this is Eddie Chavez, not Edwin Chavez. I might got him backwards, but Kansas City's Chavez was at third base. Rich Arulia, whom a player I like. I like those guys who play multiple infield positions good. Arulia was one of them for California at shortstop. The MVP, Gonzalez, left field. I said first base, but he's actually in left field. Center field, Trot Nixon, the only representative for Russell. Stand by, I got my puppies barking at somebody. Hold on. Okay. All right. I don't know what his problem is. Maybe he didn't like me making that mistake. Says I know he was played left field, not first base. But anyhow, Trot Nixon made. Want to get down now? Go ahead. Trot Nixon made it for center field. He used a lot of power for the Rowdies in that homer-friendly stadium, but the rest of my guys didn't really exceed. Larry Walker was in right field. And the top 5 pitchers for the Cy Young Conference was Messina, Jeff Shaw for Hawaii, Isringhauser for River City. I had to say that right. Roy Oswalt for Algonquin, and Ho Chan Park for the Aardvarks. Pulled up the rear in that one. He was a nice acquisition. The Gold Glove Awards at pitching was Burkett for Motor City, and his partner at catcher, LaDuca. First base, Travis Lee for River City. For Russell. Alomar is at second. Chavez is at third. Shortstop is Quez. He light hitting shortstop this year. I know he used to be pretty dangerous for Hawaii, but he made a Gold Glove. And the top 3 outfielders was Hunter for Motor City, Suzuki for Aardvarks. He was leading the league in batting average for a while until he tailed off a little bit, and then Andrew Jones at Kansas City. Rolaids Award winner was Jeff Shaw, and manager of the year was Matt for Hawaii with 104 wins for that league. Joe's not on here at all. So that wraps up the award voting, the award results, and a small tribute to Bill Buckner. And I'm going to get this posted and follow up. I'm going to be sometime today dodging the storms. We'll see how the power holds up we will do the final end of season stats commentary and see how you guys all like it. All right. So hey, another 10-minute video in less than a gig. YouTube will be happy. See you soon.